Listen, if you're running a business in Oman right now, you're doing well. Now, before you think I'm telling you to abandon your Oman business, stop right there. The economy's growing, the government supports entrepreneurs, and you've got that local credibility locked down. But here's something that might shock you. Your Oman business license could be holding. You're back from reaching the global market. I know that sounds crazy. You've worked hard to build what you have. But what if I told you that by setting up a US LLC alongside your Oman business, you could literally double or triple your revenue within the next year? There's this invisible wall between Middle Eastern businesses and the global digital economy. PayPal won't work with you. Stripe keeps rejecting your applications. Amazon FBA, forget about it. US clients see your Oman address and suddenly become budget conscious. But today, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix that. How do you set up a US LLC from right here in Oman, even if you've never stepped foot in America? And by the end of this video, you'll have a complete roadmap to accessing the world's largest economy. Your local setup is valuable, really valuable. You've got that street credibility, those relationships, that understanding of the market. But here's the reality check we all need to face. Think about it. You try to sign up for Stripe to process payments online worldwide. What happens? Sorry, we don't operate in Oman. You want to sell on Amazon FBA? Not available in your region. You pitch a US client and they love your work, but then they see your invoice is coming from Oman, and suddenly they need to think about it and get back to you. This isn't about your skills or your product quality. This is about perception and exits. US businesses prefer paying US entities. It's faster, it's familiar, and their accountants don't give them headaches about international wire transfers. But here's the beautiful part. You can own a US LLC 100% as an Omani resident. You don't need to give up any ownership to an American partner. You don't need a US visa. You just need to know the right steps. Think of your US LLC as your business passport to global markets. Your Oman business handles local operations, relationships, and that face-to-face credibility. Your US LLC becomes your gateway to the internet economy, US clients, and all those platforms that have been saying no to you for years. Looks like once you have this US LLC set up, you wake up tomorrow morning and instead of being frustrated about payment processing, you're setting up Stripe in about 10 minutes. No more awkward conversations with clients about wire transfer fees. No more losing sales because you can't accept credit cards properly. You open Mercury or Relay Actual US Business Bank, and suddenly you have a US banking relationship. Your clients see payments coming from a US account, and that trust factor, it just multiplied. Amazon FBA becomes available to you, not through some complicated third-party arrangement, but directly. You can finally tap into that massive market that's been off limits. US clients start taking your proposals seriously because you're invoicing them as a US entity. That psychological barrier? And here's something most people don't realize. This could be your first step. If you're ever considering business-based relocation to the US, having an established US business with real revenue and banking history, that's incredibly valuable for future visa applications. Now, note that not all US states are created equal, especially when you're living in Oman. Most people think, oh, I'll just pick Delaware because that's where all the big companies are. Wrong move. Delaware is great if you're planning to go public or take on investors. But for most online businesses, service providers, and e-commerce operations, Wyoming is your best friend. Here's why Wyoming wins for Oman residents. First, zero state income tax. That's money staying in your pocket instead of going to state governments. Second, It costs only about $60 per year to maintain your Wyoming LLC. Compare that to other states charging hundreds. Third, and this is huge, Wyoming allows anonymous ownership. Your name doesn't have to be on public records. For entrepreneurs in the Middle East, this privacy protection can be incredibly valuable. Fourth, Wyoming is incredibly non-resident friendly. Understand that business is global now. They've streamlined their processes for international entrepreneurs. Nevada is another option some people consider. Here's the thing. It's more expensive and doesn't offer significant advantages over Wyoming for most businesses. The key is matching your state choice to your business model. If you're running an online service business, consulting, e-commerce, or digital products, Wyoming is usually your best bet. If you're planning something more complex with multiple investors, then we might look at Delaware. Let's talk numbers, because I know that's what you're thinking about. The good news? This is way more affordable than you probably think. The Wyoming LLC filing fee is typically a $100 to $150. That's a one-time cost to get started. Then you need a registered agent, which is basically a US address that receives legal documents for you. That's about $50 to $100 per year. Not per month, per year. Getting your EIN, that's like your business tax ID number, is free if you do it directly through the IRS website. Some services will charge you $75 to $150 to do this for you, but it's not necessary. Here's where it gets interesting. You might want a virtual US address for your business. This isn't required, but it helps with banking and gives you a professional US mailing address. That's typically $10 to $29 per month. So we're talking about roughly $200 to $300 to get started, then maybe $100 to $200 per year in ongoing costs. Compare that to the revenue opportunities you're unlocking, and it's probably the best investment you'll make this year. All right, let's get into the actual process. I'm going to walk you through exactly what you need to do in the right order. Step 1, choose your formation service. I recommend Byzy. They used to be called InkFile Checklink in description below. They understand international clients and make the process smooth for non-residents. Step 2, pick your state. Like we discussed, Wyoming is usually your best choice. Byzy will handle the filing with the Wyoming Secretary of State. Step 3, provide your documentation. You'll need your passport information and details about your intended business activities. Don't worry. Having an existing Oman business actually helps here because it shows your business experience. Step 4, get your EIN from the IRS. This is crucial. Without it, you can't open US bank accounts or do business properly. Byzy can help with this, or you can do it directly through the IRS website. Step 5, open your US business bank account. Mercury and Relay banks are popular with international entrepreneurs. Wise Business is another option that's very foreigner-friendly. Step 6, consider getting a US mailing address. Services like Byzy Mail or Anytime Mailbox can give you a professional US address for receiving mail and packages. The whole process typically takes 2 to 3 weeks from start to finish. Most of that time is just waiting for government processing fee. The actual work you need to do can be completed in a few hours. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. If this is helping you, we've got more international business strategies coming that you won't want to miss. Look, if you're serious about taking your business global, a US LLC isn't just an option, it's becoming a necessity. The digital economy is centered around US systems, US payment processors, and US platforms. Fighting against that is like leaving money on the table. Whether you're based in Muscat, Salalah, or anywhere else in Oman, you don't need a US visa to compete in the US market. You just need the right setup. I've put links in the description below for Byzy to help you get started with your LLC formation and Mercury for your US banking needs. These are the services I recommend because they actually work for international entrepreneurs. But here's my challenge to you. Don't just watch this video and forget about it. Take action. The entrepreneurs who succeed are the ones who implement, not the ones who just consume information.